All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to focus on just one single, really compact verse from the Quran. But trust me, it packs an incredible amount of meaning about ritual, about history, and about faith. We're going to deconstruct it piece by piece and see how it all fits together so beautifully. So there it is, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 158. At first glance, it might look like a simple instruction, right? But as we're about to see, it's also this profound statement of reassurance, and it ends with a powerful moral lesson. Let's start right at the beginning. Okay, first up, the verse kicks off by naming two very specific places, Safa and Marwa. By putting them right at the top, the text immediately tells you, hey, these places are important. They have a sacred significance. So what are they exactly? Well, these aren't just random landmarks on a map. The Quran itself identifies them as sacred symbols, or you could say signs, that point us towards Allah. A great way to think of them is like physical anchors for a massive spiritual concept. The language here is so specific, and it's really interesting. It doesn't just say they're important places. It calls them symbols of Allah. And that just elevates them from simple geography to a sacred landscape, a place that's literally designed for devotion. So, we've got these sacred symbols. What's next? The verse immediately puts them into a practical context. When do they matter most? Well, during two very specific pilgrimages. The verse mentions both Hajj and Umrah. Just for quick clarification, Hajj is the major pilgrimage, the one that's obligatory and happens at a very specific time each year. Umrah is the lesser pilgrimage, it's not obligatory, and you can do it pretty much any time. But the key takeaway for us right now is that Safa and Marwa are absolutely central to both of them. This part of the verse is basically saying, okay, listen up. It's making it crystal clear who this guidance is for, anyone who is undertaking one of these incredible spiritual journeys. It's setting the stage for the specific action they need to perform, and that action is the ritual of sa'i. The word literally means to walk or to strive, and that's exactly what it is. It's a prescribed movement where a pilgrim walks back and forth between Safa and Marwa a set number of times. This isn't just a casual stroll, it's a foundational pillar of the pilgrimage itself. Now this is where the verse takes a really curious turn. After establishing the place, the ritual, and the people, it offers a very specific kind of clarification. The phrase, "there is no blame upon him." Doesn't that strike you as a little odd? I mean, why would anyone feel blame for performing a required ritual? Well, this actually opens a window into a fascinating bit of history. Before Islam, these exact sites were associated with pagan rituals, so some of the early Muslims were a bit hesitant. This verse was a way of saying, don't worry, this act is now purely and completely for Allah. So here's the crucial point. This is a statement of divine reassurance. It's purifying the act. It's confirming for all the faithful that this ritual is not just okay, it's a sanctioned, blameless, and integral part of worship. That is a really powerful validation. And just when you think the verse has wrapped up its instructions, it pivots. It zooms out from this very specific ritual to a universal principle that applies to absolutely everyone at any time. You can see the shift so clearly. On one hand, you have the required act, the walking between the two hills. But on the other, you have this much broader idea of voluntary good, any extra good deed you choose to do, anything that goes beyond what's commanded. I just love this line. It makes such a beautiful transition. The focus broadens from one ritual in one place to this universal encouragement to always strive to do more, to go above and beyond the minimum requirements of your faith, no matter where you are or what you're doing. So why? Why perform the ritual with sincerity? Why bother with all that extra voluntary good? The verse wraps up by describing the nature of God, and this frames the motivation for everything we've just talked about. First, Allah is described as appreciative. Think about that. It means that every single act of devotion, whether it's a huge pillar of the Hajj or just a small, unseen act of kindness to someone, it's all recognized, it's valued, and it's rewarded. Absolutely nothing goes unnoticed. And this is just the perfect complement to the first attribute, knowing. This tells us that God is aware of not just what we do, but why we do it. The intention behind the action, the sincerity in our hearts, the effort, the hidden struggles, all of it is known. So what's the big takeaway here? In just a few short lines, this verse has taken us from two small hills in the desert to a universal moral code. It's a masterclass in depth and efficiency. It answers the what and the how of a ritual while also tackling that much bigger question of why. It really leaves you with something to reflect on. How does one verse manage to blend specific guidance, divine reassurance, and a timeless moral principle so perfectly? Thanks for joining us.